Yo, welcome in everybody. We hope everybody is having a it's Tuesday, right?
Yep, you're
I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. I know me and Austin are. Austin, how we doing, man?
We're good, man. We haven't done one of these in a long time. Last year we were doing these daily. You and I have been slacking, but we got some big things coming. Obviously, we've been working towards that stuff as well. Content's been there, the plays have been there. NBA, it's been a hell of a season for me. I'm pretty excited for it, and I was talking to you about it. I'm trying to get over the 50 unit mark. A 3-0 or a 2-0 day today gives me that shot. So, super excited for that. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. We got a lighter slate than usual. So we can just start game by game. Just kind of go everything. I'm sure we'll have some questions in the chat as well. We see you guys in the chat. Welcome.
Yeah, if you guys have been here, drop a comment. We're trying to see who's back. Doc and I are going to try to get back into doing these more often if you guys want them, but let us know in the comment section for real.
Oh, yeah. And also, everybody congratulate Austin. His Eagles made it to the bowl. My Lions didn't, but at least one of us is there. So, yeah, I call it. Me and Austin talked directly after, and the first thing I had to tell him was congratulations. So, if your team isn't in it, or basically if your team's not the Chiefs, we're all with Austin this time.
How can you not be? Honestly, we'll get into NBA, but how can you not be rooting for the Eagles here? I know everybody hates on the fans. I get that, but if you're rooting for the Chiefs here, like what are we doing?
I can't stand the Chiefs at this point. I don't think they're as insufferable as other people do, but I'm just like, all right, let's make the NFL at least somewhat interesting. Let's get some other team to win it for once.
Like, yeah, I mean, I think KC, the three-peat narrative is absolutely scary, but someone's got to knock them off, so we'll see.
I don't think they're gonna do. Like, I think they have like a dynasty roster, but I think of their three-peat, I think this is the worst team, or potential three-peat, I should say. This is their worst team that they've had. Their defense is very average. I think their offense is very average. So I don't know. We'll see. But
getting into the NBA.
So my keyboard wants to work. That'd be helpful. There we go. So I can share my screen and we can just go game by game. The first one is the Philly and LA game. This is probably the ugliest one, for being honest. This is a game I think me and you have both stayed away from so far. You don't have a plan this game, do you?
Nothing targeted yet. You and I sometimes add late, especially if you're in the winnable, you'll see them. So we're doing a free trial right now for any of you guys that want it. You can click in our bio and get it, or I think Doc will drop a link in the chat. You able to do that?
For the winnable, I believe so. I'm not sure if the link will send them directly there or if it will.
If not, you
can copy and paste, but yeah.
You can get them from each of our pages. We're doing a 1-week free trial. We late add a ton, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, looking at this Lakers-Sixers game, 4.5-point spread. Very interested to see, have they ruled Yabusele in?
I don't believe so, but I think he's probable, so he's expected to play.
Okay, I would lean he's playing then.
Yeah.
I was interested to see where they were going to start, if they were going to start Bona at center, if Yabu was out, but
I don't. If Yabu plays, I think people are going to get disappointed very quickly about the Bona play. But we got somebody said Ricky Council PR is free at 13.5. I've been so tempted to play him.
I love
the only reason I'm not is because I'm like, dude, Maxey might just take 40 shots on 50% usage, and it wouldn't surprise me. But if he just has like his normal usage, Council's probably air. I think that's a good play.
I think if he plays 24 minutes, like he's starting, dude. He could have room to see 30 minutes, you know? Like that line I've loved. I was looking at that this morning too. Not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger yet. I kind of like Aaron Gordon threes. You and I put that in a lotto today. I think Eric Gordon, pardon. I like his threes today. It's definitely one of those games where I'm probably going to fade just because there's a lot of unknown. Obviously, the Sixers team too, for me, just has way too many question marks to confidently back. But
I'll say this. I think the Sixers cover this 4.5 spread in surprising fashion.
At home?
At home. The Lakers are on a win streak that I don't think they should be on. And Vando's out, which is I think it's been like a nice bright spot that people made them see the Lakers in a different light the last few games. But back to back, Vando isn't playing. Finney Smith, he's not really he's not there to play 30 minutes a game. Rui's probably still dealing with the back end of an illness. So I think this is a kind of a bait line. I've seen a lot of people on this 4.5, but we'll see. But we can talk about some of the specific players. We got people asking about Yabusele RA in the chat. I think his rebounds are 7.5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think I'd rather have the 7.5 rebounds than the 10.5 RA, because to need value on that, you need 4 assists. He doesn't even have an assist line, does he? Yeah, I can't even see his assist line on here. But
I'm just trying to figure out who else. Oubre, is he going to get the rebounds? Someone's got to be there.
Dude, Oubre might. Have you seen his rebound potentials lately?
Yeah, they've been good. I just was wondering, who's guarding LeBron? Is that Ricky Council's job?
No, it's probably going to be Oubre.
That's why I don't love his rebounds at 7.5. I feel like he's been 7.5 minus 120, 130, and he's plus 110 today, plus 115. I mean, Ricky Council, that PR line is juicy because, he's minus 160 at 3.5 rebounds. I'm fairly confident he's getting you 4+. I would bank that he gets you 5. I like those lines.
2.5.
That Yabusele at 7.5. I think it makes sense. I do think the foul trouble against AD could be there. Obviously, there's a huge size differential.
This season with Martin, McCain, Embiid, and George all out, he's seen 29 or more minutes in all 3 of them. So if I filter for games with 29 plus minutes, oh my God, I might have to add this.
Yeah, it's green.
I knew it was a good play just because I know about the bump he gets because of this. I never actually looked into it. That's green.
Well, and he's not afraid to chuck a little bit. He'll
yeah, I need to check if all these are with Maxi first. Yeah, bro, all of them are with Maxi except for one. And these are 27, 26, 21, 29. All right, Ricky Council. Yeah, that's a good look, Icy.
Check out, is that 13.5 line lingering anywhere? Is it
FanDuel minus 128?
Is that the only book?
It's looking like it. Yeah, I can check 14.5, see what books have that. DraftKings has plus 100 at 14.5.
Yeah, I low-key love this look. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially, I think the floor is 25 minutes, honestly. But I could genuinely see him play 30+. They're short-handed, man. This team.
Why'd it open at 17.5 and then move down?
Because, that's a little high. 17.5. You and I'd be looking at that under at 17.5. 13.5 and 17.5 for a guy like Council is a huge difference.
That's fair.
They'd have no Martin, no either Martins, no Drummond, no George. This.
Yeah, somebody's got to get minutes.
Who's going to play off the bench?
Bona. Lowry out?
Yeah,
No, Lowry should be playing. Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, this bench.
Justin Edwards apparently might get minutes too.
What wing is going to take their minutes? What other, you know what I mean? Council.
This is Doughton Jr. I haven't seen him much, but I think I was real apping the other day, and I saw him pop up a couple of times. So I imagine he plays a little bit.
I'm honestly going to put
0.49 points per minute with Paul George, Embiid, and McCain off the floor. 12.25 points per 25 minutes and 4.25 rebounds per 25. Yeah. Do you see a world where he doesn't get 25 minutes at AP?
No, honestly, they just don't have the guys.
Yeah, we're looking at 16.5 PR per 25 minutes, and his line's 13.5. I like it. I like that a lot. I might have to add this to the list once we're done if the line still holds.
Yeah, I just jotted it down. I like that look a lot. I have nothing locked in that game, but I think Council's a very, very solid look.
I agree. And I've been trying to figure out the best way to target the injuries in that game, so I do think that's good. I got one for you that you might like in this game.
Let's hear
With
it.
Vando probably not playing, not knowing how healthy Hachimura is, and Dorian Finney-Smith probably not getting full run on a back-to-back, Dalton connect threes.
1.5?
Yeah, it's plus – they don't even have it on FanDuel. I think it was plus 160 somewhere when I looked.
I was going to say he's got a 6.5 point line, which is a little little low. Also, you see what Joel just said in the chat?
Hey, Doc, AP blamed you for the derby last year. Yeah, he's lying. I'm the only one that didn't have to do anything other than host them, and then he didn't show up, so I don't want to hear it. Joe didn't show up either, actually. I don't want to hear him talking either. Why do I see Ricky Council 9.5 now? That's points. We were looking at PR.
I think you definitely play as PR over
Yeah.
points. The rebound upside is clearly there, in my opinion, especially because
Yep.
I don't think he lands LeBron. I think it's more likely Oubre. The connect line's interesting. You know me, if it's 6.5 and you need 2 threes, I always lean the points over making 2 threes.
Well, it's just because points is -110, threes is +165 or something. Do we think he gets the points without hitting 2 threes, knowing who Dalton Connect is and what his role is?
No, I mean, but a fast break layup, I don't. When it's 6.5 and 1.5 threes, I always play the points line personally, but I get touching the plus money over the -120.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, +165. My bet 365. If anybody,
LeBron's points is down to 22.5 as well. That I saw at 24.5 -105 earlier.
You think he's got the juice in his legs to do it on a back-to-back?
You and I were talking. His 3 looks pretty damn free at 1.5. I know it's juiced, but
-150 here.
I mean, yeah, he's missed 11 in a row. I would be very confident that he puts 2 in. He probably goes 2 of 3 in the first half today.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
There's Colin. What's up, Colin? How we doing?
Colin Cross showing love.
No matter what time, no matter how long it's been since we go live, Colin's always here. We always appreciate to see him.
I think this Sixer-Laker game, we gave some good points. I think LeBron threes is there. I know it's juice, but that's a lotto-type piece. I think the Council PR is definitely the best look. Maybe you could sprinkle PRA if you think the assist upside's there, just if the game stays close. I think that's probably all I would target in this game, genuinely.
Yep.
I think also the Yabusele, what's your opinion on this? I think he's getting mainstream. Like where it's kind of like his RA was cool, but everyone's kind of figuring out it. Books are getting familiar with it, even with those guys out. Like, you know what I mean? Like beforehand when those guys were out, Yabusele, the books didn't really know. I feel like they're kind of getting sharp with him.
Yeah, so my take on it was I like the RA at 9.5. At 10.5, it's a little too long. I'd rather just have his rebounds at 7.5 plus money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his rebounds is fine. I'd probably stay away from his RA. I mean, he's going to get I think this is why I think bonus bay. I think if Yabusele is actually like healthy, I think he's getting 36, 38 minutes. I don't think he's going like 28 to 30. Like I think everybody who bet on Bono wants 25 to 30 for Yabusele. He's going to go further than that. We're talking about Nick Nurse here. Everybody gives Tibbs shit for letting his starters go 40 minutes. Nick Nurse is cut from the same cloth.
Right. So. I think the fact that bonus props got pulled everywhere is very concerning today.
How so?
Everyone thought Yabusele was not going to play. A lot of people that bet him last night thought Yabusele wasn't going to play and thought that Bona could be moved to the starting lineup. That didn't happen. Yabusele is probably going to play. If Yabu plays 36 minutes, I'm fairly confident Bona is not probably hitting very many lines.
Yeah, we're talking about a guy who doesn't take more than 3 shots in a game. If he goes 1 for 3, you now need 10 RA from a center playing 15 minutes to cover.
Yeah, it's going to be tight.
Yeah. If you're playing Bona, just rebounds.
Yeah. I mean, Yabu could get foul trouble. I don't know. That the problem is we're having these type of conversations. It's probably good to fade. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Let's go to the next game then.
Let's do it. Rockets Hawks. A lot of potential in this one, but it's one of those where it can go in so many different directions that I don't really have strong reads in this game. I think Ahmed's lines are getting a little too high. Jalen Green has been super, like after that streak of like 8 games of 28 plus whatever, I feel like since then he's been like either 12 or 25. And they're coming off that huge game against Boston where their starters all went 40 minutes and Dylan Brooks somehow made 10 threes. I mean, the whole place looks like a mess on the Houston side. And you go to Atlanta, who's missing Jalen Johnson. Zachary Rashard is going to sit. DeAndre Hunter's fighting through an injury. Trae Young's fighting through an injury. They recently made a switch to the center at the starting position. I mean, it's the whole game, a lot of upside, but a big mess at the same time.
I get that. I did target Jalen Green, 29.5 PRA. I think this is one of those lines where he's been great on the road in his career. He's a good road player. He's over in 16 of 22 games this season on the road with no filters. You take Jabari out, he's over in 6 of 7 with his sole miss coming to Boston last night. Look, people are mad that he sold. I did not play Jalen yesterday. I played Thompson. That did work out. Green, what do you want him to do? If Dylan Brooks has 36, Thompson has 34, like there's only so much scoring. Sengun got his 15. Freddie V's got double digits. You know what I mean? Like there's not enough points for everyone. He only shot 12 field goal attempts, but he averages 19 and a half per game with Jabari off. I think this is a classic spot where we see him shoot 20 plus times off a quiet 12-point outing. He's going to get his averages back up. I wouldn't be surprised to see him score 25 plus alone. And you and I have talked. Thompson's going to have a quieter game today. He just is. He was playing out of his mind. Every single fast break, he was the open runner. Like every single block, he just happened to have a free lane. It just was one of those games where the points were falling his way and they weren't, like the looks weren't even there for anyone else. I was hyped when I bet it, but let's be realistic. That's probably not happening again. It was a better matchup for him yesterday. And this is going to be a fast-paced game. Trae Young's in. I think it stays close enough. I like it.
Speaking of that Boston matchup, the one thing I'm kind of starting to learn with that Boston matchup, obviously, if you guys followed me the past 2 years, you know I like to target that drop coverage that Boston has. It seems that the weaker guards, like weaker in like strength, those seem the ones that have the most trouble fighting through screens and stuff like that. So Kyrie's not weak, but I saw it a lot with him. Now we saw it with Jalen Green yesterday. Guys like Jordan Poole, Trae Young, they seem to have that issue too, because you have the defenders like Drew Holiday and Derek White. They're some of the physically stronger guards in the NBA on the defensive end. So when you have those guys hassling you through screens, you don't really get those free looks that some of the other pull-up guys that can take advantage of the drop coverage do. So I'm complete with you. There was reason to take him versus Boston, but it also makes sense that he struggled. And it also makes sense that on the back end of a back-to-back, the guy who got less usage in the first game is going to get more usage in the second game.
And I mean, what did he go? 4 of 12 last night, 4 of 13. Like he didn't shoot that many shots. If he shoots 6, 7 more, he could have finished 9 of 19. You know, yeah. It's more of like the shot volume literally wasn't there, and the other guys were hooping. Like it just feels like a spot there. I'm going to trust the numbers. We've seen him drop 50 PRA against Atlanta before, so it's just one of those spots. I do kind of like the Dylan Brooks fades as well. I know you had a play there, so we can get into that.
I mean, I took Dylan Brooks under 2.5 threes for no reason other than I know he made 10 threes yesterday, but we got to remember who Dylan Brooks is. Like NBA players, most NBA players are good enough to have one game a season where they just go crazy. Dylan Brooks, we see it every year. He has a couple games every couple months where he just goes for a 30 ball, shooting numbers that we never see him shoot. But before that game, he had never taken more than 8 3-point attempts in a game without Jabari Smith. I don't see that happening this one. Boston basically had the game plan of, hey, we're going to let Dylan Brooks shoot, which more often than not is a very good game plan. You don't want Jalen Green shooting. You don't want Fred VanVleet shooting. You don't want Amin Thompson running the fast break. Let Dylan Brooks shoot. Didn't work out, obviously, but if they have a chance to do it again, I bet they do it again. On the flip side, Atlanta's been pretty surprisingly good against the catch and shoot, which hasn't been the case all season, but recently that seemed to change a little bit. So I think there was a lot of value on that. It's minus 162 on here now. More juicy than I normally play, but I did post at minus 140 to VIP. So it just, when have we ever seen Dylan Brooks at a playable 2.5 line? Never. So when they give it to us, I'm going to take it.
I think that minus 140 was because Whitmore was out too. Now he's ruled in, so that also helps the Dylan Brooks.
Huge. I didn't even catch that. He hasn't
officially been ruled in, but I've been seeing stuff that looks like he's going to play. Tari Eason ruled out. Doesn't affect Brooks as much. But
Tari Eason affects more fast.
I lean that Whitmore plays. Obviously, I have Jalen Green. I'd be cool if Whitmore sat, but doesn't affect either bet a ton. But I think that's why the odds have moved a bit more too.
Yep. Outside of that, what else is there to like in this game? With Rashard out, you could play Hunter threes. I think having Trae Young active and Rashard out, I think helps him a lot in terms of letting him actually get the usage. And at plus 110 for 3 threes, I think that's fine. If he's 17.5 points, I probably like that even better. Let's see what it is.
Did you
18.5 plus money.
Did you see any Capella lines?
No, but he comes off the bench now, so they don't really give him the lines. Oh, here double or 4 rebounds.
He's gonna cook his old
Double plus 430. You think he's gonna be going against Steven Adams off the bench?
I know that's kind of why I didn't play it, but it feels like one of those spots where the Big O Onyeka struggles a little bit.
No, that was last game.
Yeah, he certainly did last game. I was glad I stayed off there.
Bro, he had 15 or 18 already in 21 minutes, and Onyeka had 6 as the starter, bro. I was pissed.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Clint got his revenge narrative. I follow someone on Twitter that always posts the revenge narratives, and he was the top one besides Damian Lillard.
Oh, Steven Adams is out. Okay, that's playable then, Capella.
15.5. It's one of those lines that's already kind of high though for a guy that's going to play 18 off the bench.
Someone's saying Trae Young under 9.5 assists at plus money is tempting. I disagree, mostly because I've been playing his overs and it hasn't been hitting. But the last 2 games, he's converted 13 of 41 potential assists. That sounds like a
he doesn't have anyone to pass to, bro. These guys are ass.
You got your boy Vic Krejci.
Yeah, Vic Krejci. I bet on him. He plays like shit the week before, balled out. Dyson Daniels, not a great assist guy. Trae's assists that dudes aren't there. Hunter, I guess maybe will help him.
I saw some blasphemous, I saw it was either Garrison Matthews or Vic Krejci. I can't remember who it was, but Trae Young hit him with a pocket pass, and bro, just a simple layup, just going up. It slipped on his way up and hit the top of the backboard. And I was like, bro, me and you are making that in LA Fitness, and you're telling me nobody contesting at the rim, you're throwing it off the top of the backboard.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't good. The Hawks, I've learned after the Vic Krejci miss yesterday, I'm probably going to just be fading for a little bit until I see some continuity with their starting lineups. They just got too many different guys.
Them and the Orlando Magic, both of them are just playing very bad basketball right now.
Yeah.
I will say, I know I said I like the Sixers spread. Oh, wow, this line has moved since I was looking at it. But I like the Hawks to cover the spread purely off the idea that they rested Trae Young and one other guy yesterday, and then Houston just went wire to wire playing their starters for 40 minutes against Boston last week, and it's at Atlanta.
I think the Rockets blow them out here.
I think the Rockets are due for a stinker. Oh, the other reason I liked it, the Rockets are pretty much the best offensive rebounding team in the NBA this whole season, and that's been emphasized even more with Alman Thompson in the starting lineup. Believe it or not, the Hawks are top 17 both recently and on the season at not allowing second chance points. So I think that's going to be a big thing too.
The most bet on under apparently is Vic Krejci.
He's scoring.
I was going to say, you and I have been eyeing his lines for literally 10 days or 10 games straight. I finally had the balls to play it. Of course, he shoots an inefficient 3-ball, but today he's definitely going over if everyone's targeting his unders. However, I did like his under 4.5 assists today. I thought that was a very solid look, especially with Trae back. The 230 total is a little scary, but the ball shouldn't be in his hands enough.
Lines are already coming out for tomorrow. We got Miami and Cleveland lines out on Fliff.
We're not doing that. We'll stick on this slate. I'm not looking.
What's that? We got somebody that put it in the chat talking about Khalil Ware. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got to stick one slate at a time.
All right, let's go to the next one. You got anything else you want to share in this one?
No, I think Jalen Green's my main look there.
All right, your boys over in Portland, Damian Lillard, coming back home for the second time. I'll let you kick things off with this one.
Dude's ass in Portland. Comes home.
Played one game in Portland.
Yeah. But he just couldn't lock in. Tamani Kamara, one of the best defenders in the league. People need to get familiar with him. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He's similar to Herb Jones, but no one will give him his respect yet. Once we start winning, they will. You and I have been talking about it all season, and we've been printing, if you've been following, I think it's one of those spots he can get clamped up. I really do. I think Damian Lillard at 26.5 points, I like the under. I'm not playing the under, but I've said it. I think that's one of those lines you and I thought was going to be around 22.5, 23.5. He's going to obviously shoot. He's going to be involved. If you do take his over, take the over 3.5 threes. I think that line's a lot better than his 26.5 points. He does have like a chance at being a foul merchant and getting to the line. However, Kamara's done really, really well at avoiding foul trouble, and he's going to be all over Dame. So we saw in that first game, I think I can pull it up, but Dame shot like, what did he shoot? Like 7 of 20. I was at the game. He played.
I can't remember his field goals, but I think his threes were like 3 of 12 or 3 of 13.
He was 3 of 13. I remember I was at the game and I was like talking my shit, obviously, but let me pull this up. Yeah,
I mean, here's the thing though. This is the because I know I'm with you on Kamara. I like him as a defender, but then Portland also, they rank as one of I think the worst pick and roll defense in the NBA.
Which makes sense. A lot of people are on Brook Lopez threes. I can't knock that.
Yep.
Dame went 9
of 23.
This
is to the ball handler, not the roll man.
Oh, on the ball handler. Well, Dame went 9 of 23 and 5 of 15 in his 2 games against Kamara. I mean, that's inefficient as one could be. Obviously, he could be due for a good shooting performance, but I think it's interesting that the Blazers are 5.5 point like spread here. You would think it'd be closer to like 8.5, 9.5, you know?
I mean, I'm always happy to bet against Doc Rivers.
It's one of those spots, dude. I think people are going to be revenge narrative, and we've said that both times Dame's played him, and he's went under both times. 26.5, that's a hefty line.
It is, and you know? I was looking to, like you said, I was looking to play it at 23.5, but at 26.5, I'm not touching it. I mean, we can look at.
I come for the NBA props, but I stay away from the Portland Trailblazers. Doc can vouch. I think I'm over 80% on Trailblazer props this season.
I need to check on my Cavs hit rate because
I was going to say that those Zers, I've been taking opposing players' assist against us all season, and it's been cash. Dame's at 7.5, though, is just a little high. I do think this is a good look, though, for him.
I mean, bro, we've seen these high-profile guards. Shea got 35. I could have sworn Hero had a good game, but apparently they're not showing him here. Levine, how did he do? Levine got 27. You said ass. Jalen Green, 26. Norman Powell, 23. Harden, 19. So they're not – here's the game I was looking for. Hero got 32. So they're not immune to guards playing well against them, specifically pick and roll type of guards.
It also depends if Ayton plays. If Ayton doesn't play, I think it helps Dame.
Yeah. So I'll say this for those who do want to lean into the narrative. 4 threes or 27 points?
Threes for sure.
Yeah.
I think if he shoots 13 threes, you expect 4 to go in.
All right. I'll rephrase the question. Do you think Kamara baits on some of the fouls, or is it just pure buckets from Dame?
Kamara, dude, I'm a season ticket holder. I go to the games. Kamara's done really, really well at staying out of foul trouble. I think he matches up well. I would not be surprised to see Giannis with 40 on us. You know, like we don't really have a guy to stop him. I just don't love the Dame Lillard spot. Eventually, he's going to drop 40 in Portland on us, and you can clip this and talk shit, you know. But just from what we've seen so far, he's not done that. But looking at the other side, you and I both did play Anthony Simons, 19.5 points.
Yes, we did.
Let you get into it first before I come in with why I targeted it.
I mean, it's been this way for years, and it'll never change. Brook Lopez sits in drop coverage and allows guards to step into uncontested pull-ups, especially considering the fact Damian Lillard is not capable of fighting through a screen. Love the guy. Great NBA player. Has my respect. I root for him. He's not capable of fighting through a screen. So that combined with Brook Lopez and drop coverage, you're just begging teams to take pull-up jumpers on you off the pick and roll. And that's what Simon does. Being at home, going against Damian Lillard, who kind of helped. I don't want to know if nurture is the right word, but it just kind of like taught him the ways a little bit coming up after CJ McCollum was traded. He shows up a little bit more knowing he's going against his guy Dame. And we've seen that in the past in games that they played against each other. And I just think the matchup makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I fully agree. The other thing that we didn't really talk, but like, who's guarding him?
It's Dame, isn't it?
Yeah, Dame, Andre Jackson doesn't play a ton of minutes, so maybe some Gary Trent minutes, which Simons cooked him last time I saw Gary Trent matched up on him. Like, it's one of those spots where Simons has struggled in 3 consecutive or 4 consecutive home games. He's shot inefficient, but now Shaden's coming off the bench. Jeremy Grant is at a 12.5-point line, so obviously Books knows he's not shooting as much. I'm waiting for DeAndre Ayton to be ruled in or out. I kind of want him to sit.
King Kong.
Yeah, I kind of want him to sit. I just think if Klingon or Rob starts,
I think they're expecting him to, because I could have sworn an hour ago Klingon's line was at 5.5 boards.
it's at 5.5 boards. Then that makes
I could have sworn it was earlier, but now I'm
that makes
seeing
me think 8.
now I'm seeing 8+. No, I'm saying earlier it was 5.5. Now it's 8.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because if it's 5.5, that probably means Aiton's playing.
Damn, I really wish I got that 5.5 then. Yeah, 7.5 on DK and FanDuel. So they're expecting him to.
I'm fairly confident Simons will come out shooting again like he has. This game's personal for him. You know what I mean? It's one of those spots. We're going to end up trading him shortly. If it's not this trade deadline, and it'll be in the offseason, and Simons will be off the team. But I just think against Dame, it's one of those pride games, and we've seen it. Like, Simons has came out and ripped in both games. He shot 19 field goal attempts in both games, and we need 19.5 points. Like, enough said. You know what I mean? If you're going to give me 19 field goal attempts, I'm there.
Oh, yeah. Anything else worth discussing in this game?
Denny Advia has cooked this Bucks team both times. I've bet on him against the Bucks both times. He's cashed both times. The line I thought was going to be around 25.5, 26.5. I believe it was 28.5, 29.5 most places, which he's earned that line. He's been unbelievable. It's just getting a little high. Like, it's just getting a tad high, especially with Jeremy Grant back. It was a system we love targeting with Grant out. Grant's a shot chucker. Whenever he touches the ball, he's a black hole. He throws it up. I think Advia is a spot I wouldn't fade, but I don't think I can back yet. It's getting a little high for my loving. 27.5. So it's
at -104. I bet there's one book slacking at 26.5.
I was gonna say it was 28.5 DK when I looked this morning, and it was like that's getting a little high. So.
No, that's the best line. All right, last game, Utah and Golden State. And if you normally wear a Utah Jazz jersey and you have a player on the back of it, they're probably sitting out in this game, unless it's Colin Sexton, because Lauri Markkanen's out, Walker Kessler's out, John Collins is out, and I think one other person's out. So everybody's injured. The only people who are playing are Sexton, George, and Sensabaugh. Now, I think Sensabaugh, what's his 15+ line? Plus 120. That probably has value. But is Clarkson playing? I forgot to check that. If Clarkson is playing, that could make everybody on the Jazz unbettable.
Personally, I think the best way to make money betting on the Utah Jazz is to not bet on them.
Yeah, I agree.
You will make more money by just not looking at their logs and not betting anything in those games than even trying to bet on them, because with Will Hardy, we've seen it year after year, man. Year after year. So it's one of those things. Anytime you bet them, I tell you, like, hey, be careful. Because like whenever we bet them, if you bet a Utah Jazz prop, don't be bitching about hooks. Don't be bitching about misses. Don't be bitching about Will Hardy, because you know what you took when you decide to bet on a Utah Jazz prop. You know it's a coin flip about minutes. You know he's going to randomly play Patty Mills and Drew Eubanks 30 minutes. So
unless we bet on Drew Eubanks, then he's only getting 20 minutes.
If you bet Colin Sexton, Patty Mills is going to play more minutes and have more shot attempts. So just know what you're betting.
I think this one is worth noting because even with Keontae George returning, Isaiah Collier started both games still. So in those games, he had 17 and 16, or this might not be the one I'm looking for. Hold on.
Like, they're starting Svi Mihulik or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, because they want to have Sensabaugh come off the bench still. They want him as the sixth man.
This lineup is awful, bro. Eubanks, Potter, Svi, Sexton, and
but bro, look at these potentials. This is with Keontae George since he returned. 16, 17, 16, and 21 potentials, and then 2 versus OKC. It doesn't show his potentials, but that's also OKC. That's not a bad one if you're looking for any Jazz prop, because Sexton, Lord knows what he's going to do at this point, whether he's going to facilitate or go for straight buckets. He used to just be pure buckets and nothing else. Will Hardy seems to have something different in plan for him. Keontae George coming off the bench means that Sexton's more the 2 guard, Collier's the starting point guard, and the passing volume has just been ridiculous. So I think that's a play. Bryce Sensabaugh is also another play. I want to see what his usage has been like with all those guys out. Let's see. With all those guys out, last 10, we're seeing 25 minutes in each one. The shot volume's been 12 to 16 shots per game, pretty much. I mean, that's for a 13.5 line, that's pretty healthy, especially when a decent amount of them are coming off of threes. Damn, he's chucking threes. Does he have a three-pointers made line? Heavy juice at, or not juice, big plus money at 2.5. I think that's another play worth considering. I'd say Sensabaugh threes or Collier assists are good looks in this game. I want to see.
I just honestly don't know how you could bet this Jazz game. Like, look at these guys that are playing. Micah Potter is starting. Drew Eubanks, dude. Like, I'm not touching it. You and I were just talking about Isaiah Collier, how he has the worst plus minus in the entire NBA.
It's not good.
And people want to bet his assists, and he has the worst plus minus in the entire NBA. Like, I get it. It's been hitting, but, like, he's clearly not a winning player right now. You know? Like, he's learning. So, I'm passing on any Utah props.
Yeah, and looking at Sexton's shot volume, I mean, it's been pretty all over the place. If I'll stay at last 5 because that's when since the 17th is when Keontae came back. 11, 15, 17, and 13 for a 19.5-point line. That's not ideal. I think the only two you can consider if you're playing anything is Collier and Sensabaugh.
Yeah, Sensabaugh is the one guy that I'm like, yeah, I think he's a solid
For whatever reason. Like, I don't like betting on Sensabaugh either. I don't think he's that good. But for whatever reason, Will Hardy does. And he's the one who makes the decisions on what this team does, unfortunately. So I think those are the only playable props on Utah. But it's probably going to be a blowout, which makes me not want to bet anything on the Warriors. However, I did already play Steph Curry over 6.5 assists. Let's see what it is now. -142. I got a -117, so I won't be upset.
That's just been hooking.
I hope not. I mean,
6 3/4 doesn't play the fourth.
He might hit this. And if Will Hardy gives him the treatment he normally does, he might hit this in the first half. But I mean, bro, without Draymond, I mean, look at that. I mean, if we go just this season, we're looking at 7 of 8, 12 or more. I know this game had more than, or I think this game had more than 12 potentials. I mean, he had 12 assists. So we're talking 12 plus potentials in every game except Toronto. The only game he missed was against Boston, where they got blown out by 40. So,
classic.
Yeah.
With Boston at home game. Yeah, it's happened, 3 years in a row?
Yep. And if we look at just the home games, 13, 17, and 12 potentials, I mean, that usage is too high. Not to get 7 assists, but what is a 15-point spread? Do what you can. 14-point spread, actually. But is there anything, assuming it's not a blood, is there anything on the Warriors side that you like?
Honestly, nothing I wanted to really fire at. Podziemski, I thought, had some interesting lines. I think they're low enough, but not.
You want me to put him in this list just as like a recap of all the players we talked about, or is he not even worth it?
Yeah, I mean, you put me on the spot of who, I told you I didn't love this game. So it's one of those, I'll be honest, I saw Jazz -14. I saw John Collins, Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen, and then I saw Micah Potter in the starting lineup, and I said, I'm going to just pass this game entirely. So
yep.
That's truly where I'm at. I'm not going to sit up here and give you guys 6 plays of garbage. Like, sometimes the best plays are not playing.
But then how are we going to get this to plus 15,000 odds?
Put Simons for 35 plus, bro.
Eubanks 8 rebounds with everybody out.
Shit, there might not be 8 rebounds in that game. Utah might not get 8 rebounds.
All right, well, I know it's going to be a blowout, but let's not act like the Warriors have been out here shooting 70% from the field. The Warriors are still bad at basketball themselves.
Eubanks, we did bet on his rebounds one time. He's played good.
We got screwed that game.
Yeah, we really did. But that's like another reason why I just like we had a great read and still got screwed, you know?
Well, that was because of that stupid ref call. Like he had 14 potentials. He played 24 minutes. That was one of the few times where I'm not willing to blame Will Hardy.
He has, I mean, with everyone out, Eubanks has good minute upside. So if you're dying for a prop there, I mean, he's a decent target.
Yeah.
Maybe his RA.
It sucks because there's so much potential in this game if it's not a blowout. Like that's for realistic.
Tomorrow's slate looks a lot better. So
yeah.
I kind of think playing light on some.
We got it up to plus 24,000 though.
That's where we're at right there.
Put a dollar wins 238 if we sweep this video.
If you and I just come in sharp, I love it. Well, shit, let's wrap this one up. Fellas, make sure you get in the winnable. We're doing a free trial right now. You can get them in either of ours profile. Just go on our account. You'll find it. Click the
100%.
link. 100%. Get in here. You get all our stuff immediately when we lock it, way earlier than on Twitter. But other than that, Doc, let's try to do these more often.
100%. Shout out Darius Garland for coming through yesterday. Only took us 11 attempts, but he still stays as Mr. Trustworthy at home. If you guys see him at home and you haven't seen us post him, text or DM us and let us know because that means we're going to play it. But other than that, appreciate everybody in here. Hopefully we see you guys in the next one. Austin, good to see you as always. And good luck tonight, everybody.
Yes, sir. See you, fellas.